Good morning, everyone. We are back in the office to look at some more new crossbows. As much as I really love my Barnetts, I also like to see what else is out there, right? And also try out some of these other brands because there's a lot of good innovation out there. Uh, and if you just focus on one company, you might miss that. And while I like Barnett's, maybe you don't, right? Maybe you like, there's a lot of people who like 10 point. There's a lot of people who like Killer Instinct. Some people like bear crossbows, right? So I like to try to look at more than just one. So today I want to focus on Killer Instinct and what they brought to the table here, especially at the ATA show here in 2025. So let's start with that and we will look at some of their new bows here. And as always, I will try to explode some of these images on the screen for you guys so you can see them a little bit better. So right when you go to their site, new for 2025, it's really big, exciting. So let's go ahead and start right here with what they're calling the Logix RDX. So they say it has a rapid draw crank. But let's kind of click on this and just see what you get. Obviously, guys, you can go and Google this and see, 435 feet per second is what it's boasting, which is fast. It's narrow at 6.75 inches, right? So let's click on that and see what they're offering and the price. So right off the bat, let's just cover the price. This 435 feet per second, you're looking at $800, which is a really good price, right? Now, I think one of the things about Killer Instinct that I've always thought was kind of what allowed them to be cheaper is the kind of the fit and finish of the crossbow themselves. Over the years, I've thought they leave something to be a little desired, right? This is one that I got, and yes, I got it extremely cheap, guys. This is the Hero 380, but it's just very, it's plasticky, right? But does it shoot bolts? Yes. And actually, one of the things they do is they have a plastic piece in there for the slide, which I thought was a really nice touch. But it's just, let me put this back here. It just misses some of the creature comforts, right? And what I noticed with their lineup this year is, one, they all look the same. I'm just going to be honest, they look the same. You got your basic shape to them that is the same, right? With almost all of them pretty much the same look. And I think that's how the cost stays down, right? But they seem to be caring a little bit more about those fit and finishes. So, it's gonna kind of be a pain here. This is the big thing this year with Killer Instinct, and I'm actually quite impressed by this. They have what is called a let-down trigger box, right? So you can cock it, and I'll put some pictures up here for you guys. You can cock it, and when you're done hunting, there's a little button, little switch. You push it, you kind of pull back up a little bit, and then it lets it down, right, with your rope cocker. So that is really cool. I really like that. We had talked before about how a lot of these companies do seem to be doing the uncockable designs, and that's pretty cool. So I really like that feature. And at $800, this bow shooting at 435 feet per second, if you want a bow that shoots that fast, right, with a decocking option is very, very cool. And I really do like that. Some things that I don't necessarily like that I'm seeing. So I think it's going to be hard to show you guys on the computer itself just because of the view that you're looking at here. But I will try to, again, blow it up on your screen. One of the things I don't love is how far your Picatinny rail cantilevers out without any extra supports, right? We're starting to see that a little bit more now where some companies are adding supports on there. 10 point, especially with the speeds that they're shooting, they're adding extra support, right? And even on my Hyperraptor, I feel like it could have a little more support. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, man, if you put a bigger scope on there, obviously I don't have my hands on this bow, right? But I'm thinking that's sticking out there pretty far and it is pretty slim, right? So that is one of my complaints. I guess that's probably my main complaint with it. No. I have a bigger complaint. Hold on. The narrowness is awesome. I mean, narrow crossbows, if you're hunting, especially like ground blinds or in a tree, you can't beat that. So way to go on that. I really like that. Maybe here. So the distance, and maybe I can show you guys on this one. This was my complaint with this one too. So here, your safety is so far back, right? Instead of it being like right here, it is so far back. And on these new ones, it's the same thing. I mean, if you look at this, just hit the wall. If you look at this, here's your trigger, your handle, and then your safety is so stinking far back. And I'd really like to see them move that forward. I mean, you're getting up close to the $800-900 range. You should have a closer safety. And I get that maybe with the decocking option, it needs to be back there. But maybe they could figure out a way to make that a little bit better. I'm not gonna say that's a deal breaker. I'm just saying that's one of the things I would like to see is maybe get that a little closer. I guess they're all back there a ways on these crossbows. Honestly, my Game Crusher is probably the closest safety that you can reach up and get. So maybe it's not a huge deal, and maybe it's just more of an optical illusion, but I would like to somehow see that safety moved a little closer, right? I think if you're a gun hunter, your safety's really, really close, right? And I get that with the bowstring going back, it's probably not as easy, but I would like to see some of these companies make that safety a little closer, right? Now, they do have, what do they call it on here? Like these XCams, I think they're calling it. I don't know anything about that. So right here it says XCam, right? Smoother, quieter, and easier to cock. I don't know anything about those. Maybe they're nice. But hey, you get an adjustable buttstock. It does have a crank option, but you can also let it down and decock it. That is pretty nice, and you're looking at a price of $800, right? So not too shabby, honestly, not too shabby. Now, the next one that they released was called the Fanatics, right? And again, got the X because they're using these XCams. Hopefully I can get my hands on one of these and try these XCams to see if, it's actually quieter, easier to cock like they're claiming, right? So again, you have a very narrow bow at 6.75 inches cocked. Now again, guys, it's a little wider than that, right? They're measuring axle to axle, right? They're not going to the outside of those cams. So keep that in mind. But basically, you're looking at the same crossbow, right? Except for it doesn't shoot as fast. So you got 415 feet per second. But there's not a lot different, right? You got the adjustable buttstock, which the other one had as well. So you don't have the decocking option on this one, but you're looking at the same, almost the same footprint crossbow, right? And that's what I was saying earlier with Killer Instinct. Basically, you got a different color, but the same thing, right? Not a lot of changes, except it shoots a little slower and you can't decock it, but you save, $350 because you're only looking at $449 for this one. And you're getting a bow that shoots fast, right? And they're starting to get those creature comforts. You got a little nicer handle. You got a different buttstock instead of just a set buttstock. You're finally getting those adjustable ones. And, you know, it looks pretty decent. So I'm not going to say a whole lot more about that one. You can go look it up. The Fanatics 415. Let's go back and see. They also have the Temperix. Again, you got that X, so you're looking at your XCams, right? And this one does not want to load. But if you look at this, you just feel like you're looking at the same bow, right? It's just kind of the same thing, right? So this one's just a little slower. So really what you have with this Killer Instinct lineup is, hey, how much do you want to pay? They're giving you the budget options, right? How much do you want to pay? And if you want to pay a little less, you go down a little bit in speed. But here you are, $350, you're still shooting over 400 feet per second. And that is plenty. It really is. Don't fall prey to the fact that you need to be shooting so stinking fast, right? If you're a crossbow hunter, the majority of us are not going to be launching our shots at 50 yards. Now, I always get the comment, oh, I shoot, out to 50. Well, that's great. I don't, and most of us don't. If you do, that's your personal choice. I don't agree with that shot, but that's my personal opinion, right? If you can do it and you can safely do it and you can get an ethical shot, great. Go for it, I guess. But that is your choice. So that's the Temperix. I don't know if it's supposed to be Temperix or Temper-X, but that is that bow. And yeah, they basically look the same, right? And I think that's kind of what they've released, right? So again, you look at it, with the Logics, you're at, what was it, $900, but you get the decocking and you get the crank cocking. You also get camo, which is cool. But if you look at it, there's not a ton different, right? It weighs more than the other options, but they're the same, like axle to axle, right? They're pretty stinking close. They're all the same. 6.75 cocked. So again, Killer Instinct, they release new stuff. It's all kind of the same, which is, I did the review on the Barnetts, and yes, they have the Demon, but you have the Hyper Raptor, T-Rex, which isn't, it's still the Hyper Raptor lineup, and then you have the Hyper Raptor DC, right? So they're still growing in the same lineup. And that's kind of what these are, right? These are their XCam lineups. They look pretty nice. I would love to get to work with Killer Instinct a little more. They're actually a Michigan company, and I'm in Michigan. I think it would be so cool to go to headquarters for you guys and just kind of meet some of these people. But so far, no dice. I have talked to them a couple times. But if you guys would like to see me do more Killer Instinct reviews, let me know by subscribing. Honestly, that is going to be the way to do more of these reviews. Up until now, I'm basically buying these things, except for Barnett, who sends me some stuff. So, I don't make money for doing this. So, it costs money. I don't make money. Subscriptions help, obviously. Which everyone says, and I hate it, but it's true. But let me know what you think of this Killer Instinct lineup. I wish there was more to go over. I honestly do. The rope cocking device on the Logics, right? It's stores in the back. There's a handle there. I'm just not a crank cocking. I guess I might have said that wrong. I'm not a crank cocking fan. They work though, right? I have the center point one and it's all right. So that's neither here nor there. That might work great for you guys. Storage looks nice that it kind of fits right into the buttstock. I don't know if they showed where the handle goes though. I don't know if you're supposed to if they think you're just going to leave the handle on there. I'm hoping I'm hoping they have a spot for that to store. I thought I saw it somewhere where that crank can store it on the bow itself, but I'm not seeing it now. Maybe if you were at the ATA show or you saw something along those lines, please, please, please let me know. But I don't know where that handle stores, if you have to put it in your pocket or if there's a spot on the crossbow. They're not really showing it here. Maybe maybe one of you guys has seen where that handle stores, but that would be my only question with that. But what you're looking at is basically you have 800 right down to 350. That's a pretty nice price range of products, right? And hopefully they hold up good. I honestly don't know, right? But they're starting to get a little bit more into the looks, and I like to see that. I like to see some progression from Killer Instinct. Obviously they had the SWAT X1 last year, I think it was, and that was pretty cool. Or I don't know if it was last year or the year before now, but that was a cool bow, but I haven't seen anything about that since. But if you're looking for any info on that, if you happen to be able to get your hands on one, I think Death by Bungie would be a great YouTube channel for that. I think he's got 3 of those now, right? So I don't have any of those, but they look pretty cool. So, and these are looking cool too, guys. If I get a chance, I will try to test some of these out. Killer Instinct has quite the lineup of bows, and it's good to see, right? There's lots of different price options, especially right in that 350 to 400 range. They have a lot of options, and you can still, here it is, 405 feet per second, $279 for this one. But this one looks just like my Hero 380, right? And that's just kind of what you get with Killer Instinct. They kind of all have similar looks, right? But you get different options for your price range. And I think that's what's pretty cool. As much as I think Barnett has been a budget friendly bow company, I think Killer Instinct is too. I do think their fit and finishes with their budget friendly stuff hasn't been great up until this year. Honestly, it seems like it's really starting to look nicer. And again, my opinion, guys, you might think that their fit and finishes have been great, and I've only been doing this a couple years, right? So I only have a few years to look back on here. But I do like what I'm seeing from them. I do. And hopefully I can get my hands on one of these newer ones, and we could just see, what I think compared to some of these other brands, right? So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you have a Killer Instinct. I don't know a ton of people personally that do. But I'm sure they're out there, right? We all have our brands. And if you're a Killer Instinct person, please let me know what you have, if you like it, if you've had problems, and also why you like it, right? Is the customer service amazing, right? Is it just a tack driver? Is just pinpoint accuracy every time? I've had trouble with accuracy on mine because of the bolts from Killer Instinct. I switched, you can actually see here, I actually have the Sanlita bolts with mine because I get more accuracy and consistency with those. So, that's just something. You get bolts that are more accurate and it's great, right? But just your comments, right? Let me know what you like. I'll stop rambling here. Thanks again for checking out this video, guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Maybe I look at some new bows from some other people or see if there's some other offerings out there, right? Just a great time to be out looking at bows. It's snowy and miserable outside. Sit inside, check out some of the new bows, and see what has been released here at the ATA show. We'll catch you on the next one, guys.